Hey everyone, and welcome back to this channel. Before you scroll to another video, please, just wait a moment. Because today, we're talking about something that kept millions of ARMY around the world up at night. Something that made Twitter, X, explode in a matter of minutes. Something that even made the BTS members themselves, all 7 of them, respond in a way that, honestly, was nearly impossible to read without tearing up. Yes, we are talking about Park Jimin. We're talking about the words he sent to ARMY. Just a few words, but somehow they felt like a hug after 4 years apart. And today, here in February 2026, we're breaking it all down. From what Jimin wrote, to why those words shook the world, to how the other members, RM, Jin, Suga, jhope, V, and Jungkook, responded in ways nobody saw coming. So if you're ARMY, or even just curious about this BTS moment, don't go anywhere. Guys, for those of you who might be new to BTS or just catching up, we need a quick flashback. Since 2022, BTS entered what they called Chapter 2, a phase where all 7 members had to fulfill their mandatory military service as required by South Korean law. This was not a small thing. It meant no major concerts, no group album, and for millions of ARMY, it meant almost 4 years of waiting. 4 years. Imagine having a best friend who went away, and you know they'll come back, but you don't know exactly when, and every single day you can only hope and pray. That's what it felt like to be ARMY from 2022 through mid-2025. One by one, the BTS members completed their service. Jin was first in 2022, then RM and V, then jhope, then Jimin and Jungkook, who were officially discharged on June 11th, 2025. A moment witnessed by thousands of fans from all over the world who flew to Korea just for that day. And Suga? He was last, finishing on June 21st, 2025. When Suga was finally free, that was the moment the world could truly breathe again. OT7, all 7, were back. Then at the tail end of 2025, during a live broadcast on December 21st, Jimin had already started dropping hints. He told ARMY, "We've been practicing together and spending time as a group." A simple sentence. But for ARMY, it felt like lightning striking after a long drought. And then came early 2026. Okay, now we get to the part that gives you chills. To welcome the new year 2026, Big Hit Music, BTS's agency, did something extraordinary. They didn't just post on social media. They didn't hold a press conference. They sent handwritten letters directly to fans' homes. Yes, you read that right. Physical letters, delivered to people's houses, sent to ARMY who had been consistent Weverse BTS members over the past 3 years. And on those letters, there was one piece of writing that changed everything. March 20th, 2026. A date. Just a date. But that date meant BTS comeback confirmed. March 20th, 2026. Guys, imagine suddenly receiving an envelope at your home, opening it, and finding a handwritten message from the idols you've been waiting 4 years for, with a date that means they are coming back very soon. Photos of these letters immediately flooded Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. The hashtags #BTSComeback confirmed and #Ararang trended worldwide within hours. But what made the moment even more emotional was, each BTS member wrote a different message on their letter. Okay, here we go. This is what you've been waiting for. Among the 7 letters from BTS members, one was talked about more than any other. The most screenshotted, the most turned into wallpapers, and of course, the one that made the most people cry. Park Jimin wrote, "This is the year we've been waiting for." 8 words. Just 8 words. But behind those 8 words, so much meaning was packed in. The year we've been waiting for, we. Not I, not BTS, but we. With that one word, Jimin wrapped ARMY into this journey. He acknowledged that this wait didn't only belong to BTS. It belonged to every single ARMY who held on through those 4 years. And for ARMY who have been there since BTS's debut in 2013, who stood by them through every high and low, who cried when the military announcement was made, who said every year, next year BTS will come back, that message felt like validation. Like someone finally saying, yes, you were right. You were right to wait. But Jimin didn't stop there. Before this New Year letter, back on November 1st, 2025, Jimin had already sent fans into a frenzy when he announced through Weverse that the new BTS album was finished and ready to be released. He was the first to share this news informally with fans, even before Big Hit officially confirmed it. Imagine Jimin, in the middle of busy comeback preparations, taking a moment to tell ARMY directly, "The album is done," not through an official release, but directly from him to us. And then there was yet another message from Jimin that spread widely in February 2026, when he expressed through Weverse how deeply he respects and loves ARMY. Jimin wrote something deeply personal, that every time he hears the word ARMY, something inside him wants to pour out every feeling he has. That loving ARMY isn't just a small phrase, but ultimately, everything comes down to respect. "That is why I respect and love you," he wrote. ARMY around the world, from Indonesia, Brazil, the Philippines, America, Korea, flooded the comment sections with virtual tears. Jimin's name trended in dozens of countries. And this is where the story becomes even more moving. Because Jimin wasn't alone. Every BTS member, one by one, gave their own response. And each one, in their own unique way, managed to touch the hearts of millions. RM, Kim Namjoon, the leader, wrote in his signature style, deep and philosophical. In his letter, RM said, "I truly have been waiting for this more than anyone. This is incredible, guys. RM is BTS's leader. He's the one who most often speaks on behalf of the group. He's the one who most often appears strong in front of the public. But here, he opened up, admitting that he missed this moment too, that this weight was heavy for him as well. And that admission, from RM of all people, made so many ARMY unable to hold back their tears. Jin, Kim Seokjin, who has always been BTS's mood booster, brought a different kind of energy, but one that still warmed the heart. Jin, known for his humor and signature cheerfulness, still brought a smile in his message. His style, always making people feel a little lighter, was a beautiful contrast among the more emotional messages from the other members. Suga, Min Yoongi, as always, brief but profound. Suga is someone who rarely says much, but when he does speak, every word carries weight. And Suga's message at this comeback moment reflected the long journey he's been through, including a lengthy and painful recovery from shoulder surgery. Jhope, Young Hoseok, BTS's sunshine. In this moment, Jhope was one of the most visibly excited. He was the most openly expressive about his happiness, in front of cameras, on Weverse, everywhere. And his energy, as always, was contagious across the entire fandom. V. Kim Taeyoung, in his artistic and imaginative way, wrote, "Hoping for more and better memories in 2026. Simple, warm, and very quintessentially V." He was also involved in the Ararang album marketing campaign in February 2026, where BTS invited ARMY to share their favorite love songs, and many pointed to V's love song as Friday and S, one of the most emotionally resonant solo songs he has ever released. Jungkook, Jungkook, the Golden Magne, wrote simply, "I miss you. Please take care of us again this year." And guys, if you think that's a simple sentence, read it again. Please take care of us again this year. Jungkook, who during his discharge day said to ARMY, "To the ARMY who came today, I am reporting my discharge," with that slightly awkward laugh because he hadn't been in front of a camera in so long, was now asking fans to keep standing by BTS. Not a command, not a demand, but a plea. And that is what makes his words so powerful. 7 members, 7 different personalities, 7 different ways of expressing feelings, but all pointing in the same direction. BTS is back, and they're back for ARMY. Okay, now let's zoom into February 2026, the month we're living right now, because so much has been happening. First, on February 3rd, 2026, Big Hit Music and Netflix officially announced through their X accounts that the BTS Comeback concert, titled BTS The Comeback Live Ararang, will be broadcast live on Netflix on March 21st, 2026 at 8 p.m. Korea Standard Time, live from Gwangwoman Square, Seoul. This is not just any concert, guys. Gwangwoman Square is the heart of Seoul, a deeply historic location full of symbolism. And BTS chose that very place for their comeback. Second, on February 10th, 2026, Big Hit released Light Stick Ver 4, ARMY's iconic glow stick in its newest version. Not just an aesthetic upgrade, but featuring color-shaking technology that syncs with concert lighting. And what sent ARMY into a panic? The older light sticks, VER 3 and SE, will stop receiving concert sync support after May 28, 2026. Weber's shop was immediately overwhelmed with orders. Third, still in mid-February, the Ararang marketing campaign themed "What is Your Love Song?" began spreading across major cities around the world. Giant BTS posters lined city, streets, and ARMY were invited to scan QR codes to share their favorite love songs. The ARMY response was massive. The hashtag trended in more than 20 countries. Fourth, on February 25, 2026, just a few days before you're watching this video, tickets for BTS live viewing at cinemas worldwide went on sale. Imagine, more than 75 countries will be able to watch the BTS concert on the big screen at their local cinemas. And of course, tickets sold out in minutes in many cities. And in the middle of all this excitement, ARMY worldwide was far from quiet. Local fan communities immediately mobilized, planning watch parties, creating fan projects, with some city officials already expressing hopes that BTS would bring a concert to their hometown before the end of 2026. If you think this is just about an album and a concert, allow me to say that you're missing something far bigger. The Ararang album, releasing March 20th, 2026, is not just a collection of new songs. Its title is taken from the most iconic Korean folk song, which has approximately 3,600 variations across the country. A song that speaks about identity, separation, journeys, and reunion. Think about it. BTS didn't choose that title without a reason. They are 7 young men who were separated, each navigating their own difficult period, and now coming back together. The Ararang album is a mirror of that very journey. And Jimin's words, "This is the year we've been waiting for," suddenly feel so much deeper. It's not just about a boy band's comeback. It's about reunion, about resilience, about proof that something truly loved never truly goes away. BTS has been here since 2013. They fought through brutal times in a brutal industry. They almost disbanded. They rose to the top of the world. They went to the White House. They performed in the world's largest stadiums. And then they stepped away, not because they gave up, but because they fulfilled their duty as citizens. And now they're back, more mature, more grown, and according to everyone involved in the preparation of this album, stronger than ever before. So, that's the full story. From one sentence by Jimin, "This is the year we've been waiting for," to the joy of ARMY worldwide now counting down to March 20th, 2026. You know what's the most beautiful part of all this? Jimin didn't need to write a long essay. He didn't need a dramatic speech. Just 8 words, and the entire world felt it. That is the power of a real connection. That is what BTS and ARMY have built over more than a decade together. If you've watched all the way to here, you're amazing. Drop in the comments. Borahi, if you can't wait for March 20th. And if there are any new ARMY who just joined the fandom because of the hype around this comeback, welcome. You came at exactly the right time. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the latest updates on the BTS comeback and the Ararang era. Because trust me, this is just the beginning. See you in the next video. Borahi, Purple Heart.